What's up, folks? You're tuned into the Failing Frequency. I am Ethan.
And I'm Mike.
And we like talking about Star Trek.
We do indeed, and it's been a long time, hasn't it?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Our longest break yet. Our longest break yet.
Yeah, but yeah, well, there was no Star Trek. Last year truly was the golden age of all the Star Trek, all the time, all up in your face, and it was good. It was good. And I suppose the folks over at Paramount needed a break. You know, they needed a break from all that hard and good work they were doing.
Yeah, and push back other series so ready to cancel them and stuff like that. So all fun. And because it's been so long, and our first series that we started talking about was Strange New Worlds, we've actually had a year of podcasts out of us now, or recordings.
Is this season 2 of Failing Frequency?
It is season 2. Can you believe it?
Season 2, baby! Deuces!
2 seasons? Yeah. We were obviously made it show back then, but it's season 2 now.
Hey, man. Oh, mate, that's awesome. 6 seasons in a movie. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yeah.
6 seasons in a movie.
Push through. We'll have a gas leak season as well, or all of our seasons will be gas leak seasons.
I mean, to be honest, if you remember that flat that I recorded most of the first season in, I think we already had our gas leak season.
Yeah. I don't know what my excuse was.
Yes, we're not going to do any news because we've been off for so long. There's just too much. And to be honest, there's too much, but also not a lot.
Yeah, the only news that there would be is stuff coming out the day that this goes up. So that new look at that new Star Trek game, whatever it is, Infinity. Yep. So we don't have the news yet.
Well, I mean, you covered some of the recent stuff. You covered Star Trek Resurgence. Did you finish it? Is it finished?
I platinumed it, baby. I played through it
smashed
twice.
it in like 3 days. My pen pal in South Korea loved it.
Yeah. It was an okay game.
Shout out to Chaiwan. Shout out to Chaiwan in South Korea. He's back home, baby. He's back home, back with his family. I don't know what he was up to. I don't know what he was up to, but he sends me pictures of delicious food, and nice. I love it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just the trouble where I don't think Telltale games are for me, really.
No,
I like the story of it, but like the gameplay, it's just like
yeah. So
yeah.
Well,
looking forward to it.
I say we should do a supplemental episode where you can tell me the story, because I did tune in to the live streams.
Yeah.
I did tune in, but it was always late at night when I'm being told by my partner, come to bed. And also one of the streams I started watching it, and then I stopped watching it because Anson Mount was also doing a live stream.
Was he? He's taking my thunder. How dare
he was opening a kiln. He'd made a bunch of pots in a trash can, and he was showing off the pots. He has such big hands.
Yeah. Is there anything that man isn't doing as well?
Oh man! And he was saying he might set up an Etsy shop.
I can't compete.
Well, he made a kiln in a trash can.
Okay, I can get a trash can.
Oh, honestly, what a beautiful man.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can give me the lowdown in a supplemental. Speaking of supplemental, I did a recording with Andy Palastides of The Great Derelict, talking about one of my other hyper focuses, Dune. Dune.
Yeah.
Dune.
Good episode for everyone, though. Do check it out. I was listening this week to it late.
But thanks. I worked hard on the intro and the intro for this as well. I did a cheeky bit of motion graphics. I did get an award for motion graphics at university. I was like, maybe I should do a cheeky bit more.
Keep those muscles flexed.
Yeah, mate. And I am very muscular.
And flexible.
What the only actual Star Trek news I can think of is literally William Shatner was on Mark Maron's podcast last week, and I haven't listened to it yet because I don't smoke weed anymore. And so it's difficult to force yourself to listen to something if you're not also getting stoned, you know?
Especially Shatner, you know.
Yeah.
Don't like him.
But we're not really here to talk about any of that. We're here to talk about the newest episode of Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, Season 2, Episode 1. Oh, fuck.
The Broken Circle.
The Broken Circle?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the people on the planet their organization is called the Broken Circle.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Almost every time.
Yeah. I did look it up just then, to be fair.
Son of a bitch, man.
Yeah. So as usual, as we did a month and a half ago, let's do non-spoilers and then go into spoilers afterwards. So non-spoilers, what did you think of the episode?
Yeah. It was all right. Yeah. Like C plus episode. I worried that my thoughts and feelings on season 3 of Picard would taint my opinion going in. But throughout the first half of the episode, I was like, no, this might be good.
Yeah.
But there was just let's just say it's a Pike light episode.
Yeah, that's
it's a Pike light episode, and I feel like it suffers.
He's off making pots.
Yeah, man. But that was the thing, because it's Strange New Worlds. Let's do the thing. If you might like this episode, if you like Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock, you might like this episode.
Yep.
If you liked, what's the episode of Deep Space Nine where all the people get drunk with the Klingons?
I know the episode where they try and find Changeling Gowron. I can't remember the name.
If you like that episode, you might like this episode. If you like that episode of Star Trek Picard, where they stole the Enterprise, you might like this episode.
Yeah,
not the Enterprise, the Titan
or whatever. Yeah.
Spoiler for Picard season 3.
Yeah.
If you liked any episode of any CW show ever, you will fucking love this episode.
Yeah.
If you like a TV show with gorgeous people that may or may not be in their 20s, you're gonna fucking love this episode.
It's such a contrast coming from Picard, where everyone is lit very harshly, which doesn't help them, but they're all 90 years old, to this where everyone looks 20 and fantastic. You know, skincare of the future is, killer.
Yeah.
We could all be so lucky.
Yeah, this morning when I got up, I said to my partner, let's go. It's time to watch Captain Haircut and the Bisexual Thirst Trap.
Yeah.
And they were like, which one's the Bisexual Thirst Trap? And I was like, The Crew.
All of them. All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone looks fantastic. Although I will say, like, we did have to tweak the settings. We had to tweak the settings. Yeah.
To make them uglier?
No, like, just so that we could actually focus on the plot.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was dark. Did you watch it by means?
I watched it by means, and the means were okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe your settings are like still adjusted from having to adjust it during Picard season 3.
Yeah. Oh, it's nowhere near Picard season 3. If it was presenting as Picard season 3 on your end, then your screen is broken.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What did you think of the episode? No spoilers.
No spoilers. I haven't gone back and watched all of Strange New Worlds. I've watched a select episodes, but I think this might be the weakest episode so far.
I'm hoping that it is the weakest episode and that they were just like, we'll just knock it out. Just knock it out.
Yeah. Well, like what I remember of the first season is, each episode was kind of focused on one crew member, and there's 3 crew members of focus in this, let's say, but it's nowhere near as strong. Each episode last season had a message that you could pull out easily and, had a very focused story on that message. This one doesn't really. And it's so close to hitting or being about a topic, and then it just isn't. It decides to stray from that. And you go, well, you were lined up then. You had loads of different characters approaching the same topic, and then you just didn't do anything with it. So, I think it's probably the weakest Strange New Worlds episode, which is a shame, but, still a weak Strange New Worlds is a good version of, TNG season 1 or something like that.
Nah, I mean, I would say that when I was watching this episode, I was like, it feels somewhat overproduced in some ways. And that if this was an episode of TOS and it had the production quality of TOS, it would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, in your list of similar episodes, there is a TOS episode that is somewhat similar. Because how many TOS episodes were about, rights to a mining planet or some shit like that?
Of course, rights those rights to mining planets being disputed by some people.
Yes.
Some special guest stars that you may or may not have seen in the trailer. Also, if you like any episode of Star Trek where they just reuse the set of the main ship and to try and pass it off as a different ship.
Yeah.
We'll get to
that. We'll get to that. That's in my notes.
Also, if you like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you will love this episode.
Secrets of the Ooze. Let's go on to spoilers then.
Secrets of the Ooze, man.
Secrets of the Ooze.
Let's get to it.
Right, I do have a description of the episode. I haven't actually read through what I wrote, so let's see if it all makes sense.
Read it verbatim. Syntax errors, all errors included.
All punctuation, I'll keep exactly the same.
Yes.
So Una's in jail talking to Pike about getting a lawyer that isn't responding to her. Pike takes a shuttle out of this episode to go talk to that lawyer. Spock is still reeling from recovering or removing his cognitive blocks and letting his emotions out. While Pike's gone, the Enterprise gets a hail from La'an asking for help. Admiral April won't let Spock take the Enterprise to go help because it's on a planet shared with the Klingons, like it's a divorced child, a child of divorce. Spock decides to like a divorced child. Yeah.
Mom, Dad, I want a divorce.
I want a divorce. This is what happens when I read my notes that I haven't like looked over. Spock steals the ship and goes to help. On the planet, the crew meets with Lorne, who's found that miners are stockpiling Federation weapons. Mbenga and Chapel get captured and taken to a Federation ship on the mining colony that the Syndicate has built. And they plan to restart a war with the Klingons so they can sell more dilithium. Mbenga and Chapel take Hulk meds and beat up 30-odd Klingons and send a message to the Enterprise as it gets lifted off into space. Mbenga and Chapel jump out of the ship without a spacesuit to get beamed aboard by the Enterprise, just as they destroy this fake Federation ship before it hits a D7. The end. Yep, I should have read through that.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, all over the place. Like, had such a chance to be an episode about PTSD. And it gets there nearly. But, you know, there's people reeling from the wars, like Mbenga's reeling from the war. Chapel and Ortega are talking about the war. These miners are like wanting to restart the war because to make them, you know, profitable or whatever. And Spock's reeling from his fight with the Gorn. It's like half about PTSD, and then it's just not.
Feels weird to be bringing this up in season 2. It definitely feels like we hardly mentioned the war in season 1. We should probably start bringing that up.
Yeah. It's kind of gone back in time, isn't it? So, like, the war happened while the Enterprise was away. Then Pike learned his fate about him dying. Then season 1 is about him and that fate. And now season 2 is about something that was set earlier.
Yeah.
Seems...
Well, like, Ortega's having read the Enterprise War, like, most of the crew, Ortega's, Mbenga, Chapel, they're not in it. They're not on the Enterprise during that novel, which is set during the Federation Klingon War. So there is definitely a lot of, like, I mean, you can kind of imagine, like, where it's like, oh, war, and then you get on the Enterprise and it's like, everyone's so fit. And then there's obviously there's probably like a bit of a delayed reaction, especially like with Mbenga having other shit to deal with.
It does feel like they've given him like a lot of this PTSD just to replace his child plotline.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, like, he had other shit to deal with, and often that's what people do. That's what people do. Rather than address their problems, they just transfer it to something else, But yeah, it's like you say, so close to the episode being about something, but it did the whole episode is just set up. It's just set up. A set up, an exposition, and zero Pike. Like Pike's in it at the start, like you said, and he immediately goes off to go meet with someone, and that's it.
It makes me wonder, considering the trailer has that Back in China episode that's La'an and Kirk. It's like, is Pike in all this? Have they detached Pike from a couple of episodes to prove that they can keep doing the show when he dies? Or gets churred, I should say. It's why is Anson Mount taking 2 weeks off? Gets churred, yeah.
I thought you said, when you said churred, I was like, is that slang?
No, that's just the accent coming through.
Absolutely fucking churd, mate.
Yeah.
I was like, is that slang for getting shit-faced?
Not today. Not today.
Sorry, what did you say after that?
Yeah, so like maybe
we are professional broadcasters.
Yeah, maybe they're like removed. He's not in it for 2 episodes, not because his filming schedule or something like that, but kind of they want to prove that they can do the show without him. So when they get rid of him, when they eventually have to get rid of him, there's still a show. Maybe.
Well, I'm guessing that maybe next week's episode is going to be a Pike Una heavy episode.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I mean, we all know that Una's gonna get off. I mean, that didn't sound right.
Yeah.
All right. But like we all know that Una's gonna be back on the ship because they kind of gave that away in the trailers. Not the best tactic, but whatever.
Yeah, she was featured in the trailers more than Pike was. Yeah, like okay, yeah, sure.
But it's that's what I'm assuming it is going to happen. I think it'd be funny if the 2 episodes happen like parallel, and like every now and then they get a call. Spock's stolen the Enterprise, and he's like, "I'll deal with that later. I'll deal with that later." Did you notice?
I'm surprised there wasn't like a bit of Pike at the end of this episode being like, I'd leave you away for like 3 days, and look what you've done.
I straight up at the we'll get to it at the end of the episode what I thought was gonna happen. But just while we're on the subject of Pike, in that first call with Una, did you notice the subtle alteration to the costume that was very noticeable to me at the start of the episode?
I think there's a change in the neckline, isn't there, or the black?
It's of the black. It's a little bit higher.
It's higher. It's
a little bit higher up, a bit more TOS. Before it was like here.
Yeah.
Or like here.
Yeah, I
now it's up here. Nice. Bringing it in.
Nice.
Bringing it.
Yeah.
Lining it up subtly with tiny baby steps, lining it up.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's all good. It's all good. Maybe the next thing we want to talk about is the big one of the episode, or the one that thumbnails will be made of, including probably for this video, Klingons being back.
Klingons are back, baby.
Back, baby, and looking like TNG Klingons.
Yep, look, TNG Klingons. First thing, kind of more dreads, more braids. I noticed in the drinking contest that we get with La'an, the Klingon that she's drinking with has a long head.
Yeah, so
he's got a big long head. He's got a big. That's your cranium, isn't it? Is that your cranium?
Yeah, I think it's all cranium, isn't it?
It's all cranium.
It's all cranium. This cranium, that cranium. But like man. That's, I think, the only holdover from the disco Klingons is that they've got slightly longer heads. Because there's nothing functionally that's the same. There's no, there's a good number of Klingons this episode, and there's not one that looks like a disco Klingon. There's not one that looks like a TOS Klingon that we know about. Maybe, they've all got 2 nostrils rather than 4. They've all got teeth that they can speak out of. So it's good to see them again. I would have liked a mix, do a mix in the season and then some decrease the number of disco Klingons. Yeah,
some diversity, Star Trek. Get woke.
Yeah, and I still do want that episode where like the Enterprise tries to stop some Klingons who are help out Klingons that have the virus and are just spreading it around like they're being typhoid Marys. Because, to explain away. But then it's not going to happen because then they wouldn't have picked these looking Klingons.
Or it all happened. History is complicated. History is complicated. you know? There were samurai around at the same time as the first film.
Yeah. Yeah.
History's complex, bro.
But I wonder if, like, they're not going to bring in, like, Laurel from Disco, the main Klingon, the Empress, because of the
Mother.
change that they've done. Mother. Because of the change that they've done. Because what would she look like? Would she look like she looked like, or would she look like a
Mary Chiefo? Would just be like Mary Chiefo with a handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
Presumably.
So, yeah. But like the only other thing about the Klingons that I had in my notes is that they're back. You know, they look like Klingons again, or Klingons as we kind of know them. But these Klingons are the biggest punks in the world. Like, they get beaten the shit out of by two humans. They get drank under the table by a human. And like that episode that you were talking about, DS9, where they're undercover, they have to give Cisco and them drugs so they can keep up drinking.
Well,
and then there's
La'an, don't forget, La'an's an augment.
No, she isn't.
La'an's an augment. La'an's an augment. She got caught. She got bullied. She's strong. She's strong.
She got bullied because she's got the same last name as an augment.
They called her an augment. She's extra strong. That's why she's so tiny and she's a security chief. She's an augment. She's augmented. She is like,
but she wouldn't be allowed in Starfleet for the same reason Nuna.
There is that. Well, that's the hypocrisy of of establishments, man. Like, well, I mean, you're kind of an augment, but you're kind of genetically modified, but you were born that way, so you didn't actually do any genetic modifications in it. She's fucking hard as fuck. She's got superior genes.
I mean, everyone on this show has superior genes. Look at them. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I could believe that La'an was drinking people under the table, especially like knobheads who do drinking contests.
Yeah,
knobheads, alcoholics get drunk very quickly because there's already shit there because they're unwell. And the only people that do drinking contests are alcoholics.
Yeah. They're Klingons.
The only person I've ever seen able to do a full-on like drinking challenge was a man who drank his way through the alphabet in a day. He had 27 drinks, all beginning with the letters of the alphabet. He hadn't drank for a year, and he fucking nailed it. And after doing a shot of Zubrovka, he was like, "Are we going to the club?" He was Scottish. "Are we going to the club? No, then." And we were all just like, "No, we've all stayed to see you finish because we've been with you all day and none of us can go home until you drink that fucking shot. Now we're all going home."
Yeah. But it's, I don't know, it really like takes away from the Klingons for me. Like the same with, I know they were hulked out. They had like, I don't know, the secret of the ooze in them, Umbenga and Chapel, which I rewound that bit because I was like, do they explain what that was, or did they just shoot it into their veins?
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
And if there are no downsides, which it didn't look like there was any downside from it, why wouldn't they just do it all the time?
I know, like, so are we just doing like Klingon stuff first?
Yeah, let's
just do Klingon stuff first, right? So he pulls it out and she's like, do you just carry that with you all the time? And then Benga's like, yeah, sound. He's carrying this ooze, this super soldier serum.
Yeah.
That turns them into Ninja Turtles. They beat the fuck out of a bunch of Klingons and then occasionally have chats about having done this before.
Yeah.
that's another thing that
it's
that has
implied that Mbenga did it in the war or whatever, and it's just like, I'm sorry, what is this? What are you doing? What are you shooting up?
the way that because there was some cinematography in this episode. There was some twisties. There was some slow mos. There was some eyeball close ups. It made me think, and maybe this is just me reading a bit too much Alistair Reynolds of late, but does it enhance their strength and speed, or does it also alter their perception? Because when they take it, that's when everything starts going slow mo.
Yeah, it reminded me of Dread, whatever the drug in that is called. I was like, oh my god, they're going to be super fast or something like that.
Slow mo. Slow mo was the name of that's what they were on. They were on slow mo Ninja Turtle ooze.
Yeah.
Fucking...
Yeah, it's such a weird thing to introduce.
Well, I mean, it's not that I wouldn't. Well, I mean, they do. It is kind of being introduced, but at the same time, Picard season 3 introduced doctors doing harm, and I guess Strange New Worlds has just carried that over.
Yeah. It's not the doing harm that I think's weird. It's there's this drug that we are just learning about now that enhances humans so they can knock out every Klingon. Because Klingons have an exoskeleton as well, or a minor exoskeleton, and tiny, very slight Jess Bush Chapel is hitting Klingons on the forehead ridges with her hand and knocking them out, and it's that would break all your bones.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah. It's
but I mean, okay. They do get some pretty sick shots in. There's a good shot where she drives her elbow up into the nose of a Klingon, and it's he might be dead. That might be his nose blown up into his brain. My favorite bit was when Mbenga fucking tango taps the fucking guy. Just and he's sick.
Yeah.
Mbenga looking good in this episode in that long coat. Mbenga stand out in this episode. He was the only good part of this whole episode. Even with the weird illusion, hinting at stuff that we definitely should have heard about in the last season.
Yeah.
Mbenga was good in this episode. He got the good lines as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Do I have anything more on the Klingons? Maybe not. What I do have is I broke down the plan that the Broken Circle has, and tell me if this sounds, because this is one of the things that made the episode not amazing for me. The plan that this organization have is they were making more money or whatever currency because during the war, because they sold dilithium to both sides, and each side was more desperate for it. So their plan is to build a Federation starship out of some scrap, outfit it with Federation hand weapons, so phasers, small weapons, fly it up to a Klingon D7, and while they're all on board, pick a fight with what we hear in the episode is a much superior ship, so that they can get destroyed. So that crew on that ship is all going to die. And there's 30 of them. This is why are they doing it?
Inglorious battle.
Inglorious battle. And they do that to kick off a war when they're sitting on the equivalent of an oil field. And, generally, if a war goes down, are the Klingons going to deal happily with this syndicate that's currently at peace and just making a fair profit? No, they're probably going to raid the place and, kill everyone on it. And they're doing it because they're not making profit fast enough, which is obviously links into the real world capitalist scum, but it's such a stupid fucking plan. You fly a ship that you know you're gonna get destroyed up to the bad guys, and like you as a 3-foot person, you're like, come on, fight me.
Yeah, and like everyone's gonna like the Klingons are gonna like look at the debris of the ship and go, well, look at all these look at these bodies. They're all Klingon. But look, they're phasers.
They're phasers.
Their phasers are all Federation phasers.
Yeah.
The Federation.
How dare they?
Yeah,
Such a weird fucking plan. I don't get it.
It's a stupid plan. It's a stupid plan that you outlined quite concisely. More concisely, I would say, than the episode did, because the episode stated the plan like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Like the audience wasn't following.
Yeah.
Chapel's like, oh my God, they're going to use this ship. They're going to use this ship to do the thing that they were talking about before. And Benga's like fucking with the thing, and he's like, yeah, I know.
And then Spock works it out, and
everyone on the crew's like, "Oh my God, no way!" It's like,
yeah,
guys, I am literally light years away, and oceans of time across from you, and I know what the plan is.
Yeah, imagine if they'd used some of that time to give the bad guys a face. Because there's no bad guy that you meet and has a name in this episode and is just like, yeah, I'm doing this for profit. And then Mbenga can face off and be like, no, the war, in his whispery voice.
Super raspy whispery voice.
You're willing to kill hundreds of millions of people. And the bad guy can be like, yeah.
100 million people. I have that in my notes.
Yeah.
100 million people? Fuck.
Yeah.
Mbenga is the loudest whisperer ever.
Yeah. They must mic up that guy so heavily. Like the boom mic is just like here for him constantly, and it's like
just slightly out of shot.
Yeah. They probably have to CG it out. It's probably like here, and they have to CG it constantly.
Yeah. Hey man, it's easily done. It's easily done. It's easily done. When I was on holiday, I was taking photos and just CGing people out in the photos.
Yeah.
Using Google CG people out.
So yeah, that I think it's the dumbest plan in the world, and because you had to go over it a couple of times, you wasted time in the episode that could actually be spent on the PTSD story of, Spock's PTSD, of killing Gorn and how that's affected him, and Ortega's PTSD and how she's, kind of sparing for a fight, and these miners how the war affected them and how it affected Mbenga, and you just don't...
fuck them. Fuck the miners.
Fuck the miners. Send them
miners.
into space on this ship of the damned.
Fucking bastard. We are from the north, so we know. We know when miners are being done dirty.
Yeah.
Like, those poor fucking miners.
Poor fucking miners.
And they didn't even... Did any of them talk? Yeah.
The two they find...
said...
Yeah. The closest thing to a face the bad guys have is the people who just find Mbenga and Chapel doing medical stuff, and it's like, you come with us now, or we kill you.
The fit one.
Yeah.
The fit Klingon, and there's one fit Klingon in the whole episode. I was furious.
Yeah. So I don't get it at all. On the ship, since you mentioned it earlier, it comes up and they go, that's a Crossfield class, which is the same class as Discovery, and it's got the same sorceress Discovery. but it
What?
is. Yeah, it's got the same saucer section. I'll picture up here, whatever.
With the
As
cutouts?
the yeah, and the spinnies.
But no Art Deco.
No, it's got a completely different drive section. It looks like a drive section from the NX refit to me, or that sort of style. And it's just like, what
Well, I mean, they're
unholy
probably
mess is this?
it's a kit bash. It's a kit bash.
Yeah,
They did say they probably built it in the cave.
yeah. A box full of scraps. Tony Stark built
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, yeah. Um,
Mm.
that's
Just so they
inconsistent.
can reuse the set, just so they can reuse it, the Discovery set while they're not on it.
Inconsistent.
Yeah.
Inconsistent. Um, so we had fucking. We do see some more Klingons at the end, but we'll get to. I say we should get to that because, like, I thoroughly enjoyed the Klingons at the end.
Yeah. Let's do that
What
now
do you
then.
think of what? No, let's what did you think of the stuff with the CW hijinks with the crew of the Enterprise?
Um
Spock
which
has got
Spock.
has got
He's in love.
Spock's. He's in love. He opened up his emotional floodgates.
Yeah.
And now he's caught feelings.
He has.
And Beggar's like, there's another medicine. And I was like, oh, he's gonna go get fucking the. No, he's gonna go. I thought he was gonna pull out the med bag that the doctor had in the pilot episode of TOS, where he pulls out 2 martinis.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was gonna pull out a couple of martinis.
Yeah.
Like, there's another medicine.
But apparently he's just got like.
Drink.
Apparently the back of sick bay just has a load of instruments piled up. That's what Mbenga does. He walks into the back and he's just like, is the harp going to work for him or a grand piano? Harp, grand piano. Harp. Brings it out.
Yeah, man. But he's like, oh, man. Tension in the shoulders. Tension in the shoulders. Heart rate, whatevers. Man. And I was like, sounds like stress. And Mbenga's like, sounds like stress. I'm like, tell me about it.
Yeah. And his heart goes all aflutter when Chapel walks in. Yeah. So again, more of the Chapel Spock stuff from last season.
Chapel's hair looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Chapel's hair looked great. My partner has a thing about like the type of women that they find attractive tend to look like them. Yeah. And like and they have the same hair. And like when Chapel walked in, I just like slowly went. My partner just went, Chapel looks good, and I was like, I knew you were gonna fucking say that. I knew you were gonna say that. And they were like, why? And I was like, because you got the same fucking hair.
Yeah.
That was a little window into my life.
Your partner just eyeing up people on Strange New Worlds and like, yeah.
Well, just the ones that look like them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chapel's hair looked great.
But Spock, because he's got these extra emotions or whatever, he's more ready to steal the Enterprise. He's more ready to do a Star Trek 3.
He's very ready to do a Star Trek 3. Hold on, let me just find out what's the name of that Vulcan instrument, because I'm like...
Because we do see him play it in TOS.
Lute. It's a Vulcan lute. Right?
Oh, bastard. I had it in my notes as lute. Close. And then I read that, a Vulcan harp online, and I was like, oh, okay, it's a harp rather than a lute. I was right, damn it!
He does play the lute a bit. But I'm still gonna call this a violation of Chekhov's Vulcan lute, because even though he plays it a little bit, he does not. I was expecting him to like shred. I was expecting Ralph
he only
Macchio.
got it today.
Ralph Macchio at the end of Crossroads. Like I was expecting like fucking classical gas on the fucking Vulcan lute. Like this is bullshit.
He only got it the same day, you know.
He strummed it. He knew how to play it.
He'll get better.
He's dyslexic. Dyslexic people take to fucking instruments like fucking horse to soup.
Yeah.
They take people like Vulcans play instruments like they've got two birds in the hand.
Yeah. It's all mathematical stuff for him anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, and maybe we'll get a chance for Uhura to sing again while he plays.
Yeah.
You know.
I like Uhura. Oh man, maybe they'll do the lyric version of the theme song.
Yeah.
I liked the bit. Speaking of Uhura, I liked Uhura's like moment with the engineer at the start of the episode where they're like, I need to come and like reset the console, and she's like, stay the fuck out of my kitchen.
Yeah.
Like this is my space. This is my space.
She's got more confidence now. Now she's an ensign. Now she's ascended to Ensign Kim's level. She's got more confidence.
Yeah, but she's got the confidence of Ensign Kim on a good day. And like you can see, like now, like you can see, like if there's anything wrong with that console, that's gonna be her saying that's the last time anyone else touches my console. I need to get me my own set of overalls.
Well, that's one thing I liked about Uhura in TOS is when something's wrong with her console, she straps on overalls and goes down into it, doesn't she?
Yep.
And Spock's like, "Yep, you do that. You're the best person for this." So.
Yep. I remember what happened last time anyone touched your fucking console.
Yeah.
We got a distress call.
Distress call. From
we got more Mitchell in this episode.
Mitchell, the
Mitchell.
The not tactical. What is she on?
Navigation.
Navigation. Yeah. Good to get, and it's another one of those things where the bridge at that start bit was all women except for Spock, which is fantastic, and all of them are fleshed out characters. It's Bechdel test easily passed sort of stuff.
Yep. And then obviously we get the newest addition to the Strange New Worlds crew, Mama Adams. Fucking what's her face from The Princess Bride? Fucking Carol Kane, baby.
Yeah. What did you think? What did you think of her? I feel like I might be an odd one out here.
I fucking adore Carol Kane. I adore Carol Kane. I have a close attachment to the Addams family, so I see Carol Kane as like an aunt that I've never met in person and that doesn't know I exist. Because the actress who played Morticia Addams in the original 1950s, 60s TV show is the adopted daughter of my like fourth cousin.
Okay.
So many times removed. That actor is in my family tree.
So you're pretty much Morticia Addams.
I'm pretty much goth royal family.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see Carol Kane as like a distant aunt. And it's nice to see Mama Adams finally make it out into space. But
I'm not sold on her as a character at the moment.
I love it. I had very recently finished watching the Nazi Hunters.
Oh yeah,
TV show
with Hua in it, Pacino. Is Pacino in that one? Yeah,
that show. And she's in that, and she's wonderful. And she has like an old school Polish accent in it.
Yeah.
And like, so when she comes into this scene, I was like, this isn't the same. And then I was like, is she doing the accent that she had in Taxi?
Yeah.
But she wasn't doing that accent. I was like, what the fuck is that accent? And then Ahura goes, oh, I know where your accent's from. And I was like, oh, like, good. I'm not the only one.
Lanthanite, I think it was.
Lanthanite, which is
of old. And lived on Earth undercover, pretty much. You know, like Guinan did.
Scissored Spock's mum.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, whatever.
I so in my mind, I'm like, oh, they probably wanted to make her Guinan, like an El-Aurian.
An El-Aurian.
But because at the moment we're dealing with stuff with Il-Laurians in Una, it's like too similar a thing where you've got this El-Laurian and an Il-Laurian. So they're just going like, oh shit, make a race, make a different race.
Just come with something. It's fine.
Make it sound completely different. Lanthanite. Okay, great, cool.
Lanthanite. I'm fairly certain it's an element. Hold on. Lanthanites are a group of isostructural rare earth element carbonate minerals.
Oh, very good then. Look at you with the knowledge.
Yes, the knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge at the tip of my
how
fingers.
To Google.
Yes.
But like, she's been teaching at the academy and is bored as shit by that because she's hundreds of years old. So she wants to go on the Enterprise where stuff happens.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I wonder if she's going to die, if she's going to do a hammer.
Can she die? Will she die, or will she do some kind of like immortal, like ascending? Hold on, let me sort my hair out. Or will she do some like immortal? Will she ascend?
She's going to see the great koala of the universe and ascend.
Yeah. Oh my god! Like the koala was in the swoosh at the start of this episode.
Was it? I thought it was just in Lower Decks. The koala.
No, it was in Picard and everything. If they do the koala, I will be happy.
I just watched it, mate. There's no koala. You're dreaming of koalas.
Maybe I just saw a meme.
Yeah. you're just thinking back to the Lower Decks one and how that influenced
it was in Picard. It was in Picard. I know that for true.
It wasn't.
In fact, it was. Hold on.
It wasn't. Oh, so many links go to Reddit, and Reddit is half offline.
There is no Reddit.
Yeah, it's just in Lower Decks, mate.
Oh, maybe I just saw a meme late.
You're seeing late memes. Carol Kane is our fucking Reddit. It looks like Carol Kane is our engineer for the season or beyond, really.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be mad if they killed her.
Yeah, just to make sure these episodes are evergreen at time of recording, along with a writers' strike, a looming actors' strike. Reddit is also on strike.
Yeah,
and if Reddit is no longer a thing,
I don't know what to do with myself.
Back in the 2020s and late 20-teens, Reddit was kind of like a replacement for 4chan. Back in the 2000s and the early 20-teens, 4chan was kind of like the worst place on Earth to be. And in many ways, Reddit
I really like Reddit. There's subreddits that aren't terrible.
I have found Reddit to be very helpful when I've not been able to find the answer I need on the first 2 pages of a Google search.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I Google or Googled, whatever Reddit to try and get a proper answer rather than, random shit. Or a Screen Junkies article where it's like, the top 10 ways to restart your computer. And it's like, that's not what I asked for. Not what I fucking asked for.
Yeah, and then you ask Reddit, how do I restart my computer? And then you get like 1 answer that helps, and then 10 answers of just like, as if you don't know how to do all the things on a computer that it's designed to do.
Yeah. But there's subreddits that don't have that,
Yeah, I don't know. I found a subreddit today. I was looking at a picture of a ship on Star Trek Online, and one of the answers was something like #down with women. And someone was asking for like what ship looked like the Serenity from Firefly, and someone was just like, women are bitches.
Pain, constant pain. See, I've been trying to support the strike in that I've tried to stay off Reddit, but like so many times I open my phone and like the natural reaction is just to go to Reddit, and I've opened it up and be like, no, close.
Yep.
It's support the strike. Moderators do shit
support
for free.
The miners.
Why should they
support those hardworking men and women, and other down the Reddit mines?
So support the miners in this episode as well as they started war.
Support the miners in this episode as they all get fucking like just murked. Shall we go back to this?
There was one thing I was going to say on Pelia, or whatever her name is, Carol Kane, is we've already seen so far in the trailers that Kirk and La'an are in the past, aren't they? At some point, Kirk's trying to go through a revolving door, and I think this episode was just set up for her character to be there undercover, where it's like, you lived on Earth for undercover for many years, didn't you? And it's like, hundreds of years. So they're just going to do a times arrow from TNG where it's like, we've bumped into Guinan, except now it's going to be, we've bumped into Pelia.
Or not also times arrow from TNG, but also the episode of Picard where they met Guinan and she was younger.
Yeah.
So like the big like set pieces of the episodes were obviously fucking Mbenga and Chapel as Ninja Turtles. Weird. I mean, good fight scene. All right, fight scene, like elbow, tango tap, and then like the kind of the next big like event that we get with those two is them getting off the ship to get rescued. Sans EV suits.
Yeah, they do a Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Naomi in Expanse. Fucking Baby Bear from Event Horizon.
Yeah.
All of which did it better.
Yeah.
We didn't even get a good shot of them outside of the ship. We didn't see anyone's blood boiling. We didn't see any malformations. It was bullshit, if you ask me. The fact that, like, Spock starts doing compressions on Chapel, I laughed out loud at that. Because, like, I'm not being funny about... Like, she needs a blood transfusion.
Real medical attention.
They need to be in a fucking pressure tank getting a blood transfusion.
Yeah.
Like, they need to have the living fuck oxygenated out into them. Like, compressions. little bit like a dusting of frost. Like Peter Quill's face was all fucked up.
Well, they did that in the third one. They didn't do that in the second one.
Yeah, but like again, fucking Gamora didn't. She didn't look good, and she had blood in her eyes, and like she's. They even say in the movie, like Gamora. I mean, she's got like augmentations. She's got cybernetics that maybe keep her alive a little bit longer.
I'm thinking, what's his name as well? Blue guy. Come on, my brain. Rooker in number 2 dies that way, doesn't he? But yeah, he doesn't, but he doesn't explode. Yeah,
but he also like floats off into space, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he may very well have exploded.
No, they have his body later to do a funeral. Yeah,
still, like, it's just fucking Baby Bear with his blood coming out of his eyes and shit. That's what they should have had. Yeah. They should have like landed on the transporter pad with blood spewing out of their eyes.
And Mbenga's like, okay, he's like, oh, look at the emotions of Spock. Yes.
So emotional. Did you play the lute? Did you play the lute I asked you to play?
When Chapel wakes up, she's got a pun ready, you know, blood boiling, as you say. And she's
Why are you going to be so rough?
Why are you going to be so rough?
Why are you going to be so rough? Meanwhile, Spock's just like, if I don't stop, you will die.
Yeah.
Oh, will that even help? They're like frozen.
If there's no blood in them, no.
Well, what happens? What happens when you go into space? Your blood boils. And when they say your blood boils, really it's just your blood expands, and that's why like the kid in Event Horizon, all his veins start coming out, and the blood just starts spewing out of every orifice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And like in the Expanse, that's what happens. Like they freeze, and then their eyes go red, and then like blood comes out their noses and ears and shit. Like that's what should have been happening.
It's weird. It just seems to be in like the zeitgeist at the moment that people get thrown out of ships. Like even in Picard last season, someone got thrown out of a ship.
Yeah. And
it's just like that. You know, if you could do Google Trends or whatever on like thrown out of a shipness, it would just start spiking.
What's going on there? What's going on there, Mike?
Wee-wee. I'm at my desk. It would just start spiking in the last couple of years, like since Guardians or something like that.
Yeah,
it seems to be one of those lessons they learned from Guardians.
Expanse, there was that like, and that's the thing. Expanse, Event Horizon, Guardians 3, all did it better. They showed it being gruesome. But like the moment in that episode of The Expanse where Naomi jumps from one ship to another, it's such an emotional moment. It's such an epic moment. It's such a like, you know, you're watching it and you're like, Naomi, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
it feels like such a massive risk. And this one, like, I'm not.
We know they're gonna be fine. Yeah. Like we know they're gonna be fine.
Absolutely fine, obviously.
But like I'm disappointed at just how fine they were.
We kind of know that Chapel in all TOS isn't walking around with like one blown off arm because she jumped out of a ship once. You know, so you know you kind of know that everything's going to be fine. But yeah, it had no real impact for me. And then this Spock going like, I waited to fire until the last moment. You know, he's crying over as he's doing CPR.
What was that? That was so, like, honestly, so much of the dialogue was so hammy.
Yeah, it really. I don't think this episode was amazingly written on a dialogue front as well.
Except for Mbenga and Carol and Mama Adams.
Yeah. Like, there's earlier in the episode as well. I thought that this dialogue, like, it's such weird beats where La'an finds that Uhura's been promoted, and it's like, you know, they're working out this plan, and then they pause and go like, "Oh, Ensign Uhura." It's like, you know, if you go, things change. It's like, oh, they do. Man. And then the scene ends, and it's like such a weird fucking end of the scene.
The moments where they're like, you know, saying to Spock, like, what's going to be your line? What's going to be your thing? And like, we already saw that in the trailer, but we didn't see the build up of like, Laminos.
Or stealing the ship. At this point, they're stealing a ship, and then they pause to have a conversation about like, oh, do something witty, Spock. And I absolutely hate the point that captains seem to have their own line anyway. Because it's so limiting to Star Trek as a series. If you go like, oh no, in 2 series time, we need a new captain, or, you know, 2 new shows, and you need a new captain, and they've got to have a new catchphrase. And we've used engage, hit it, go fast, or all these ones that we've used. So they've got to say stupider and stupider things.
You should it's probably so limiting. Move.
Yeah, yeah. Cyborg on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
So I've actually got 3 things. My last 3 notes are 3 things that I did like.
Okay. Yeah, go for them. We like to be positive.
Sweet. So we just talked about fucking Chaplin and Benga getting beamed back aboard, not bleeding out of every orifice. Lame.
Yeah.
The transporter effect of them coming back on and it being kind of jumpy, kind of like night mode on an old camera phone.
Yeah.
I loved that effect.
Really?
I thought I loved it. It was naff. And I love naff special effects.
Yeah.
Like, and especially because, like, you know, they're off their tits on dying. Like, it makes sense for the special effects to be that they see to be naff.
Yeah.
It's
amazing they weren't beamed up inside out like that guy in TMP.
Yeah, man. They were. Yeah. Oh, man. If they really had it in them.
Yeah.
If they really had it in them, they would either 2-Vix them or they would blob them.
Imagine if, because I think Strange New Worlds wouldn't try and resolve it in the episode as well. They'd be like, oh, there's a half Umbenga, half Chapel. They whisper. They whisper, but they look very good in a white jumpsuit.
Topanga, and they'd get them to be played by Topanga from Boy Meets World. She's still around, I think. I think she hosts a show.
Really?
Yeah.
So what were your notes on good stuff?
So when the Enterprise, when they pull out of the space dock, the Enterprise does like a
yeah.
Love that. I love making use of 360 degrees worth of 3-dimensional space. Like one of
that model as well is fantastic. That opening shot where the shuttle flies around it and you see in all the windows and there are rooms.
I need to rewatch that bit. I need to rewatch that bit because when I watched it, it was too dark.
Oh man, rewatch it because like you can see into rooms, and I can't remember if you see people in the rooms, but like the rooms are obviously 3D.
I could just see literally the brightest parts. Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
And then my last favorite bit that I liked is more Klingon stuff, but like most of so throughout the episode we get like very TNG Klingons of being kind of grubby and gross. But then the last Klingons that we meet, the Klingons that are the crew of the D7 that we see, they are, you know, they've got the long hair, they've got the goatee and the handlebar mustache of TNG Klingons, but they have the They have the reception, the pronunciation of the thespian Klingons of TOS. Why should I trust the word of a Vulcan?
Yeah. And they're wearing like the baldric is like a very TOS, like it's just a bit of gold.
They've got like
in it.
They've got it's like TNG armor, but in TOS colors, sleeveless and gold.
Yeah,
it's just like I don't believe you, Federation starship.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
This Vulcan
TOS
isn't very
Klingon.
Vulcan. Ha! Come drink with us.
Oh, the least you want to do shots with me?
Yeah.
Okay then.
That Spock, as well. I thought was quite funny. But
yeah. Then they're down in fucking blood wine and shit. Like I loved that. I love TOS Klingons. I love that there is a. I definitely want more thespian Klingons.
Yeah.
More Shakespearean Klingons.
I think we're easily going to get more Klingons this season. You know, they've made too much makeup for, you know, all background people to just have them for one episode.
I mean, maybe that's why most of this episode was set on the unused set of Discovery.
Yeah.
We spent so much on these gross-looking forehead ridges.
Yeah.
Oh, God, they do look like they need cream.
They look a bit rubbery to me, but, you know, that's just 4K and, you know, prosthetics, isn't it, really? And I'm still happier with them. Like, I think the Discovery ones look a better quality, but it's obviously, you know...
Too much.
Kind of...
Too many nostrils. Too many dicks.
Too many nostrils. Fewer nostrils, please. Yeah.
Perfect amount of dicks, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That double stream. Yeah. I really liked in the episode this concept, and we don't delve into it that much, of this moon or planet or whatever it is, and it's shared for 30 days. Like, Klingons leave after 30 days and the Federation pitches up and starts mining or whatever.
No
Such
wonder
a weird concept.
No wonder they're still fighting over mining rights 10 years later in TOS. Like, that's a stupid fucking deal.
Yeah, it's
the Federation are turning up. It's implied that the Federation are turning up and there's just dead bodies.
Yeah.
There's just dead bodies hanging around.
Imagine being on that Federation duty where it's like, okay, body bags, please. We need to start mining as soon as possible. We've only got 29 days and 12 hours.
We're running out of fucking body bags.
Yeah.
Every time.
So fun. Yeah. That and like the concept of like ex-Federation soldiers working with ex-Klingon soldiers to try and restart a war. I found was very interesting, but it's so lightly touched.
Could have been interesting. Could have been interesting.
Yeah, so, you know, there was stuff that could have been there more and whatever that I would have found better. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. One thing I'm hoping for next episode, so, you know how they're a bit cagey about Una, when Una and Pike are talking and it's like, go talk to the lawyer, and it's the, you know, they're the best lawyer in the quadrant and stuff like that. Do you remember TOS? I think his name was Bagley or Basley or something like that.
Yeah.
The one who's just like surrounded by books, and he's like, I
guy.
prefer books. Yeah.
He's just like a guy.
Yeah, I want him.
Yeah, man, a guy in a brown tweed suit in the 24th century. Fuck yeah.
Why not? And he's just like books around. That'd be the sort of like cameo reference or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I
want that next app. But you know, we'll see.
Man.
We'll see.
I was expecting at the end of the call with Admiral April. Yeah. I was expecting, you know, when Spock's getting chewed out by April, I was expecting the call to end and the camera to just pan across to Pike and just being like, I told like I'll be honest, I told him that he was not gonna need to take the ship out of space dock, and when I said that, I was kind of thinking he's probably gonna steal the ship. Like,
yeah.
So that's on me. So
yeah.
Like,
I can't leave them for 3 days.
But I'll be honest, I kind of expected it. So
yeah,
you owe me.
But instead we kind of get like a setup for maybe a season villain. In that there's a Gorn battle cruiser or whatever approaching or in Federation space. So, we kind of knew we were getting the Gorn again, but they might be the season bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Hey, cool. Like, little shocker. Like,
interesting. Last season, they were kind of like used I think
you kind of. Sorry, let me just do this. I think last season of Failing Frequency, I think it was you that kind of was just like, I think the Gorn are going to be set up to be like the big villain of Strange New Worlds. Looks like you were right, Mike.
Yeah, I was right. You shoot 100 shots and you get one in eventually. So yeah, that's kind of like everything I have in the episode, and we talked about kind of things for the season. You have anything else on the app?
Yeah, Matt, looking forward to seeing some more. Hopefully, see some more Klingons.
Yeah.
Hopefully, seeing some more fucking Gorn, like adult Gorn.
Mm-hmm.
Disappointed we didn't see any, like, in all of that fight scene. Didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
Didn't see any double hammer fists. Didn't see any double hammer fists. It was the perfect scene to have that theme as well. But most of all, I'm looking forward to seeing some fucking Chris Pike and some Una Chin Riley.
Yeah, imagine that, seeing a captain in an episode would be nice.
Crazy.
I wonder if we haven't had it in any of the trailers, but last season set up Cybok as well, didn't it?
It did, yep.
And we're going to have to...
Hopefully we'll get that paid off.
Yeah.
Heck
hopefully
yeah.
It's this season. Maybe maybe they've pushed it to next. Captain Angel or whatever their name was. I can't remember which way round it was.
Oh yeah, Captain Angel. Captain Angel. Fucking. What else happened last season? Future Pike. Maybe we'll see more Future Pike.
Yeah.
We are getting some future peeps. We're getting some future homies. We've seen previews of the Lower Decks crew.
That looks like it's going to be about episode 6.
Yeah.
Because they've given out the titles of this whole season, and the title of that one is like Those Old Scientists or something like that, which is
Those Old Scientists.
How Lower Decks refers to TOS.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's stuff to look forward to. It looks like a good season. It's just hopefully that this is the worst one of the season.
You just got to knock it out. You just got to knock it out. We've had instructions from the knobheads in the studio. We have to do a Steal the Enterprise episode.
They always say lead with your worst joke.
First. Let's just do it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, never mind. But yeah, that seems to be what we've got to talk about for this episode then, really.
Fucking done.
Oh, I forgot. It's at the bottom of my notes. The episode also has a for Nichelle Nichols as well. And
of course. Yeah, man.
Yeah. We'd be remiss if we went past it without mentioning it.
Absolutely. Anyway. Hailing frequencies, always open.
Always open.
But
over here at the Failing Frequency, we're about to fucking close.
Yeah, Failing Frequencies always open, like my butthole.
Oof. You've gone west, man. You've gone off book here.
It just came out. It just came out.
By the sound of it, it's because a lot went in as well.
This is my fourth. You were late.
Oh, true. I was.
Oh, no.
My fault.
Right. Yes, let's sign off.
Yeah. So that's it for the week. If you want to do the normal thing that we always ask and everyone else always asks, like, comment, subscribe, do things, then all we have to do is say, oh, what was my catchphrase? I honestly can't remember my fucking catchphrase.
Well, I say, live long and prosper, motherfuckers.
And then do I do peace and long life, double dumbasses?
No, then, yeah.
Okay, peace and long life, double dumbasses.
I have to do it. Woo! Yeah. and may your blood scream.
Loot.
And failing frequencies always open.
Always open. Except for now, where we close.